So we have a pretty historic event unfolding right now. You have the auto workers, 150,000 strong, the UAW. They're striking. And they're striking because going all the way back to the Great Recession, when GM had to be bailed out, they were told, look, man, you guys got to take a haircut. We're in dire straits here. We don't want to go bankrupt. We don't want to, shut down. So you guys got to help us out here, take a pay cut and all that stuff. And the workers were like, okay, no problem. Well, here we are at a time when they're making record profits. And there has been no redress of the grievances where pay has been increased and benefits have been increased for these workers. So Sean Fain, who's now the head of the UAW, is much more militant than previous leaders. And he's fighting. He's leaning into it. He's saying, look, here's what we want. We want a 4-day work week. We want a 46% pay increase. He has a list of demands that are awesome. And they also mirror what happened with the CEOs, right? So like the executives got a 46% pay increase. So he's like, all right, workers get a 46% pay increase. And now they're striking. Okay, well, Republican politicians, Mike Pence, Donald Trump, they were asked by the media, all right, whose side are you on? Like, what do you think? What do you think of this auto worker strike? And they, yet again, give the game away that they are not pro-worker, they are not populist, they're the same as they've always been. They are hardcore capitalists who side with the owner class. Let's listen.
Let's talk about the auto workers strike.
You bet,
You blamed the strike on President Biden's policies. Most Americans, 75% according to Gallup, support the strikers. As a general principle, do you think it's fair that the CEO of General Motors makes 362 times what a typical GM employee makes?
Well, let me say what I don't think is fair is that Joe Biden has put forward an economic agenda from the very outset that launched the worst inflation in 40 years. I mean, literally, the cost of living has gone up almost 17% since we left office. Their war on energy has caused gasoline prices to go through the roof. And I have no doubt in my mind that all those hardworking auto workers are living in the same reality every other American's living in, and that is wages are not keeping up with inflation. I also think that this green agenda that is using taxpayer dollars to drive our automotive economy into electric vehicles is understandably causing great anxiety among UAW members. These guys...
Oh, my God. Okay. This is all so dishonest. First of all, the green agenda, as he's calling it, the billions of dollars in the IRA that's allocated towards green and renewable jobs, that is increasing the number of jobs in these manufacturing towns. So more people are making money. More people are getting jobs as a result of the IRA and the investments. And the CHIPS Act, for example. Like, these are positive things. This is why we're seeing 800,000 new manufacturing jobs in the country, and he's slamming that. Now, again, he was asked a very straightforward question about, hey, the executive's making 360 times what the worker's making. And what does he do? Let me tell you why Joe Biden is really bad, bro. Inflation, bro. In other words, no, I don't support the workers. Of course I don't support the workers, but I'll virtue signal and pretend. I'll pivot to an adjacent issue to pretend like I support the workers without coming out and saying, solidarity, I stand with the union workers. Because he doesn't. Everybody knows he doesn't.
The Green New Deal that was passed under the guise of an Inflation
There is no Green New Deal.
Reduction Act. You're seeing it driving their industry into electric vehicles, benefiting China that makes most of our batteries. And I think they're pushing back rightly. And I also think the American people stand behind them in the numbers you suggest, because we're all living in the failed reality of Bidenomics today, Jake.
But there's also this issue of general fairness. In 1965, during this era of the great middle class expansion in the United States, CEOs made about 20 times what their typical workers made. But as I noted to you, the CEO of GM makes 362 times what her typical employees make. I just want to make sure I get an answer from you. Is that okay? Do you think that's fair?
Well, I think that ought to be left to the shareholders of that company.
Look, you have probably never heard these words come out of my mouth before, but shout out to Jake Tapper. He asked the original question very clear, very concise, very straightforward. Good question. He didn't answer. He followed up, and Mike Pence shoves his foot right up his own ass. Oh, my God. Leave it up to the shareholders. 360 times might be fine. I don't know why my arms are like this in my Mike Pence impression. Like I'm a T-Rex. I'm a T-Rex Mike Pence. Oh, that is such a bad answer. Here, let me help you out there, Mike. The answer is, no, it's not okay. No, not at all. Share the profits with the workers. By the way, we looked at the numbers. The UAW released an amazing chart on this. So much money has gone towards stock buybacks to artificially inflate the stock as workers are getting hosed. Mike Pence does not stand with the auto workers. All right, now let's get to Trump. Let's see if Trump does any better.
This big standoff between the auto workers and the big three auto manufacturers. Yeah. My question for you, Mr. President, whose side are you on in this?
I'm on the side of making our country great. The auto workers are not going to have any jobs when you come right down to it, because if you take a look at what they're doing with electric cars are going to be made in China. The auto workers are not going to...
I can't. The exact opposite is true. With the IRA, with the CHIPS Act, with all the infrastructure spending, 800,000 manufacturing jobs are coming back to this country. Under Trump, there was an outsourcing of 200,000 manufacturing jobs. He flips the truth right on its head. God, it's such a lie. It's such a lie. Notice, he was asked, whose side are you on? And he's like, I'm on the side of making America great again. In other words, I'm not giving a direct answer. I'm not saying I'm with the union workers.
The auto workers are being sold down the river by their leadership.
Sean Fain is a leader. Sean Fain is on the side of the workers. Sean Fain, the leader, is fighting for the workers. And he's saying they're being sold out by their leaders. That is not true. Populist, my ass cheeks. God, working class party, my ball sack.
Leadership should endorse Trump. The reason is, you got to have choice. Like in school, I want school choice. I also want choice for cars. If somebody wants gasoline, if somebody wants all electric, they can do whatever they want. But they're destroying the consumer, and they're destroying the auto workers. The auto workers will not have any jobs, Kristen, because all of these cars are going to be made in China. The electric cars automatically are going to be made in China.
That was a horrendous answer. That was a goddamn word salad. And it was a lot of words to not say, I support the workers. Solidarity. All right. Well, let's do a little compare and contrast. Let's see what Dark Brandon said on this issue.
I respect workers' right to use their options under the collective bargaining system. And I understand the workers' frustration. Over generations, auto workers sacrificed so much to keep the industry alive and strong, especially through the economic crisis and the pandemic. Workers deserve a fair share of the benefits they helped create for an enterprise. I do appreciate that the parties have been working around the clock. When I first called them at the very first day of their negotiations, I said, please stay at the table as long as you can to try to work this out. And they've been around the clock, and the companies have made some significant offers. But I believe they should go further to ensure record corporate profits mean record contracts for the UAW. I'm going to say that again. Record corporate profits, which they have, should be shared by record contracts for the UAW.
Guys, that is literally the union's framing. He copied and pasted what Sean Fain said. He said record profits should mean record contracts. Now, the big three already offered roughly about a 20% pay increase. And Sean Fain was like, go screw yourself. And Joe Biden goes out there and says, the company should go further. Record profits should mean record contracts, record wages. Kind of shocking, to be honest. Kind of shocking. I would have expected more of a both sidesism from Biden. I would have expected more of a split the difference. He's literally using the union's framing. This is phenomenal. You got to give credit where it's due. You got to give credit where it's due. Obama probably would have went out there and said, hey, they put a 20% pay raise on the table. Maybe the union should take that. Biden's out there like, record profits should mean record contracts. Wow. Now, look, I'm a simple medium for the information, y'all. You make your own mind up what you think of all this. But the fact of the matter is, we listen to Mike Pence, we listen to Donald Trump, and we listen to Joe Biden. Not much of a comparison, now is there? Hey, y'all, do me a favor and like and subscribe. It helps out big time in the algorithm. Click the bell as well for notifications when videos drop, and watch that video on screen right now. You know you want to.